Hello everybody, glad to see you made it back for part 2. I'm a little mad at Oscar, that's why he's covered up right now. He did not tell me that I had my cowboy hat on lopsided, but he said it had something to do with my hair being a little lopsided. I cannot help it, my hair's not perfect like Bozeman. All of you know who Bozeman is. Yes, his hair looks perfect. Okay, but anyway, moving on because I don't want to use up a lot of your internet data. This is Wolbachia Rodeo Part 2. The first Wolbachia Rodeo was in 2011 at Copiah Lincoln Community College located in Weston, Mississippi. That's also where it's going to be this year. If you have your protocol, I'm going straight by the protocol. As you complete something, if you will, check it off. It's mainly to help the teachers as we're walking around. We really need to see on paper where you're at instead of you just telling us. First thing, notice it says make sure the dry bath or water bath is set to 99, because if you forget to set it until it's time, it takes it a while to warm up. So I've got Marge up here. Marge is going to make sure that it's on 99. It has a start and stop button. It says 99. But is it at 99 or that's just what it's set at, so we need to start it. So I push that button. Yes, Marge, you were right. It's on 20.9 degrees, so it's going to have to work its way up. Marge came from Princeton, so we're so glad to have her here with us today. Okay, so you check off that very first one. Then it says DNA extraction and purification. Obtain clear tubes labeled water. Remember from the last video, that should already be aliquoted for you as much as you need with water. And then Instagene, 200 microliters per insect. You have 5, so you need 1,000. You can go ahead and have that passed out for the students before they get there, or either do it right at the very beginning. It's very important to get the rodeo started on time. So there's the Instagene. You'll notice it says shake vigorously before you use it. And what is the purpose of Instagene? Instagene is a chelator that has a substance that will tie up the magnesium ion. Remember, that's a cofactor that enzymes need in order to do their job. Once you start rupturing the nuclear membrane, your DNA is exposed to enzymes out in the cytoplasm. But enzymes can't do their job without their little helper. When I explain this on a PowerPoint, I put a picture of Thor with his hammer. It's sort of like taking the hammer away from Thor. You know, it's hard for him to do certain things without his hammer. The cofactors are like little hammers for the enzymes, which are Thor. Okay, so there you go. Number 3, it says label in alphabetical order. Remember the paper towel, whose purpose is to help you organize your insects as well as to absorb isopropyl alcohol. You have 5 insects. Section this off into 5 different boxes. It's a little bit challenging for me, but I'm sure you'll do an excellent job. Okay, Oscar, I'll remove the card. Oh, these little cards given out by Mississippi State Department of Health talk about 2 of the insects that are at our rodeo today, so I wanted to mention that. That's why I had to put it there so I wouldn't forget. Just 5 little groups in alphabetical order. A for ant, L for flea, M for mosquito. Then your 2 controls, which we were able to get our controls for this rodeo from Sarah and Seth Bordenstein, who do a lot of work with Wolbachia at Vanderbilt. I don't know if you can see that, but Seth and Sarah there, that is for you. Okay, Nasonia negative, Nasonia positive. Should look something like that. And yes, Oscar is the one that trimmed this paper towel. That's why it's a little bit jagged, but that's okay, Oscar. Okay? I lay out these nice little, I call them placemats, but for some reason I walk around the tables and students have all of their equipment, all of their materials, everywhere except for on the placemat. That's the purpose of the placemat. Keep your stuff on the placemat. Okay, organization. After you've done that, it says that you're going to put your insects in the designated area to save time and your internet data. I'm only going to do 1, but they all work the same way. I have a red imported fire ant, was not originally native to our area, but now is everywhere. It would be nice if you had a person that labeled your macerators, like, hey, this one's going to be for ant. Let me put an A on it, and we're going to put it in the designated area. This one's for flea, put it in the designated area. This one's for mosquito, and you can put the specific type of mosquito, whether it's Anopheles, Aedes albopictus, or Culex species. This is Nasonia negative, yay, this is Nasonia positive, okay. Got everything laid out nice and neat. Got to get those insects out on that paper towel, let them go ahead, and if they've been stored in isopropyl, it's very important to have that removed. If they haven't been stored in isopropyl, you still go ahead and put them in the designated area. Just make sure the fan is not on, because sometimes if they're already dry, they tend to lift and fly away. Not because they're alive anywhere, just the wind currents. Okay, my handy dandy toothpick that was inside my macerator now comes into play as a little fishing pole. I got one little ant right there. Oscar, can you tell if that's a male or a female? Oscar does not want to say, but that is a worker ant. So out there in YouTube land, if I tell you that is a worker ant, you should know if it's male or female. What is it? That's exactly right, it's females, because females do all the work. Oscar didn't like me saying that, but that is true. All worker ants are females. Okay, you put your specimen there, go on to flea, you would do the same thing, and on down the line. Okay, after they've had a little bit of time to dry out, somebody else could be, we're already on number 4, and we're just going through steps 5 in this video. Number 4, label the color tubes alphabetically. So the first tube, you can just put A for ant. The next one would be, see, and somebody could be doing this while another person is laying the ants out. Teamwork is what it's all about, teamwork. F for flea. M for mosquito. Yeah, you can probably tell I'm not really right, I'm just pretending, but you would be doing the real thing. Because I may have to do this video again, I hope I don't. Nasonia negative and Nasonia positive. Everything has to be labeled, everything. Okay, everything's labeled. I notice on number 4 it also says place 100 microliters of distilled water in your 1.5 mil tubes. Usually you have these cute little floaties to hold your microtubes. You can put those there, that's their purpose, put them there. Kind of stand them up so that things won't roll off the table, not good, don't roll off the table, okay. And 100 microliters. So at the rodeo, I usually bring 2 types of pipetters. A P200 goes from 20 to 200, and a P20 which goes 2 to 20. If I need 100 microliters, I need to be using the P200. Whenever you get ready to adjust these have a locking mechanism. Make sure it's unlocked before you start turning. And we're not going to Vegas, so don't just spin the wheel and keep going. You keep an eye on it. You need to start slowing down as you're getting closer to 100. And 100 will have a 1 at the top. There's 3 lines of numbers showing 100. 100. Make sure a student in your group confirms, yes, that's 100. Then, I guess I probably didn't need to flip that. Open your tip box. Do not have your thumb on the plunger, because without knowing it, you may be pushing down on the plunger. Some have it off to the side. Gently secure that tip, push down, but you don't have to be Rambo, okay? Just make sure you got a firm inset into that tip. Find the tube. Now remember, you've got 2 or 3 other people in your group. People are working together, just like ants. Okay, here's my tube for ants. Here's the distilled water. I'm sure one of my nice lab partners would be handing all this to me. I double check. Whenever you're ready to get your sample of liquid out, remember you go to the first stop, not the second. If you go to the second stop, your volume's going to be off. You're just at the first stop, you're kind of eye level looking at it. Slowly release that plunger, bring it up into the tip. You can hand this off to somebody, since I don't have anybody except for Oscar. I'm going to put that down. And then I would put the 100 microliters into that tube. Now, I'm ready for the next tube. I'm doing 100 microliters of water in all tubes. So do I need to change the tip, Oscar? No, I don't. That's exactly right. So you can get ready with the next one. Now, I know it looks cool just to go through there and shoot stuff in the tubes, but don't do that, please. Make sure you pick up each tube, you're looking at the tube, and you are eye level as you're adding the water to each one, okay? Now, later on in life, you can do that, but for the rodeo, please pick up each tube just to make sure you've verified that it's in there. I've seen students that wanted to look cool and they did that, and they got distracted and ended up putting another 100 in the same tube, and there's one tube without water. Okay, so always make sure you are eyeballing everything that you do while you're at the rodeo. Okay, so let's say 100 microliters, 100 microliters. Of course, I'd have the tube out of the floaty. 100 microliters, 100 microliters with the same tip. I'm finished. Pop the tip. And then, if you look at number 5, it says transfer insects to correctly labeled microtubes. Here's the one labeled ant. Here's where my ant is. I'm going to try to pick up my ant. I'm having a little difficulty. Oh, there it is. But let me put it back down and say, oh, I'm still having some difficulty. If you have difficulty picking up your insect, take your toothpick. This was the main purpose of the toothpick. Wet the tip. That should allow you to maybe be more successful with picking up the insect. Place the insect in the tube so his tissues can go ahead and start, ooh, this one does not want to come on, can start soaking up the water. Maceration is really just talking about separating and removing tissue. We're going to soften up this tissue so we can work on it in order to extract the DNA. Go ahead and put all of your insects in their tubes with the water. And that way, when we're ready to move on to number 6, you're good to go. So this takes you from steps 1 to 5. The next step will actually start bringing in the institution.